What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my predictions for NXT TAKEOVER Portland that will take place this Sunday on the WWE Network. So we kicked this off with a match that was announced last night, last week on not last night, but last Wednesday on NXT. It will be Keith Lee defending the NXT North American title against Dominik Dijakovic. Actually, give me 1 second. I actually have to write that down on down on my book, because I did not do that. I kind of fucked up on it. Give me 1 second. There we go. There we go. All fixed. Alright, so this is a match that is a long time in the making. These two dudes have been duking it out for a long time. They've teamed up together. They even teamed up at NXT TAKEOVER War Games back in November, as they went up against the Undisputed Era. And it was a really great match. It was an incredible match. Incredible match. Obviously, seeing Kevin Owens come back to NXT for the first time in over 6 years, I would say almost like 6 years or something like that. It was absolutely incredible. And now the final chapter of this rivalry will come to an end. Honestly, I can't decide. These two guys are absolutely amazing, but because this is Keith Lee's first title defense, I highly doubt Keith Lee's gonna lose it, so I'm gonna have to go with Keith Lee on this one. And speaking of War Games, Tegan Nox, Dakota Kai. Two women who were the best of friends. They were like sisters. TAKEOVER War Games, Dakota Kai turns her back on Tegan Nox. This Sunday, it finally comes ahead. But in a street fight. Honestly, it's hard to say. It's hard to say who's gonna who's going to win this match, because Tegan Nox has had to go through two knee injuries. She literally had to go through 2 knee surgeries on both of her knees. Both of her knees. The first one happened weeks before the inaugural Mania Classic, before the first ever Mania Classic, and she was originally supposed to have been in that tournament. But I think Lacey Lane, or Kaden Carter for that matter, was the replacement. I think. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. And then the second surgery actually happened during the quarterfinals of the second Mania Classic tournament, when Nox went up against Rhea Ripley, and that turned sideways real fast. The first 30 seconds, it went so well. Literally 30 seconds into the match, it went well. And then of course she heard her knee pop, and she was out of action for literally over a year. Now she's back, stronger than ever, faster than ever, more shinier than ever. Making reference to her shiniest wizard. Dakota Kai. Yeah, again, they were the best of friends, and now this Sunday they're bitter rivals. Honestly, because of how bad Tegan Nox needs this match, I'm gonna have to give the advantage to Tegan Nox, because obviously Tegan Nox, growing up in South Wales. I've actually read about South Wales. I've read the stories and whatnot, South Wales is, if I remember correctly, South Wales is a really rough place to be. So growing up in the slums in the slums of South Wales, Tegan Knox had it hard. Based on what I've read anyway. But yeah, I think Tegan Knox needs this more than Dakota Kai, because if Dakota Kai wins, the rivalry isn't gonna end. We all know it will never end. Because we still have Candice LeRae in the fold as well. If Tegan Knox wins, she could very may well be next in line for a future shot at the NXT Women's title, which is actually on the card right now, and I'll talk about it a little bit later on. So yeah, definitely Tegan Knox. Next up, we have the main event. It is Adam Cole defending the NXT title against Tommaso Ciampa in a match that's 10 years in the making, because these two dudes, they've, if you guys saw Adam Cole's backstage interview from last night, Adam Cole said that he had known Tommaso Ciampa for 10 years, and he said that Cole said that he was always better than Ciampa, and he said that this Sunday he's going to prove it. Tommaso Ciampa wants his life back, and his life being the NXT title. Honestly, I think, in my honest opinion, this is a must-win for both these men, because if Adam Cole wins, he'll go down in history as the longest reigning NXT champion of all time, ever. If Ciampa wins, not only will he get his life back, but he will actually be just the third man in history to hold the NXT title twice. That says a lot. Obviously, the main two, Shinsuke Nakamura, Samoa Joe. Obviously. Tommaso Ciampa would become the third man in history to hold the title twice. So, this is a must-win for both, but I gotta go with Tommaso Ciampa on this one. Next, and speaking of the Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish will be defending the NXT Tag Team titles against the winners of the 2020 Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, Pete Dunne, Matt Riddle, the Broserweights. Very intriguing team, I will say that. Pete Dunne has worked so much better with, in my honest opinion, Pete Dunne has worked so much better with someone like Tyler Bate or Trent Seven in British Strong Style. But teaming up with Matt Riddle, it's interesting because Pete Dunne isn't the only one of the team that knows submission. Matt Riddle, being a former UFC star himself, he knows his way around the submission ropes. So, and for them to go up against the Undisputed Era, one of the most elite tag teams in all of NXT, that right there is main event level. Main event level right there. But I'm gonna have to go with the Undisputed Era just because of the fact that Fish and O'Reilly have teamed up together for so long. Dunne and Riddle, they've only been teamed up for what, a month? And yeah, kind of weird. But of course, too, the last time we had a mixed team, just a random team thrown for winning the cup. Last year's winners, Ricochet and Aleister Black, they took the Viking Raiders to the limit, and I was here watching it, and I saw the Viking Raiders and Ricochet and Aleister Black not only just beat the holy hell out of each other, but just took each other to the limit. And even though the Viking Raiders retained the titles at that time, that match will go down in history as one of the greatest tag team matches of all time in NXT history. So, but again, I'm gonna have to go with the Undisputed Era just because of the fact that they've known each other for so long, they've teamed together for so long. There's really no disputing about it. No pun intended. and as I mentioned with Dakota Kai and Tegan Nox, yes, Rhea Ripley defending the NXT Women's title against Bianca Belair. This is actually Bianca's, what, third? I think fourth shot at the NXT Women's title. I mean, we all know the old expression, third time can be the charm, but you never know. You never know. Honestly, considering the fact that Rhea Ripley has been on such an amazing role since coming to NXT from NXT UK, I think Rhea Ripley could very may well retain her title and then go on to take over Tampa, successfully defend the title there, and then go into WrestleMania as the NXT Women's Champion. That could be a possibility, but of course too, we still have to steer clear of the Queen, Charlotte Flair, who won the Women's Royal Rumble match, and there were rumors saying that she could very may well go back to NXT. If it's true, I mean, the big question here is who's gonna fill the shoes of being top dog, in the Raw Women's division. Obviously, the name that would come into mind would probably have to be Becky Lynch. Ooh, excuse me. Seeing as how she is the Raw Women's Champion, so it would make sense. But I'm gonna have to go with. As crazy as it sounds, do not get me wrong. I do see Bianca Belair as a champion. Sam Roberts, if you're watching this, she is worthy of being NXT Women's Champion. So you can shut up. But in my opinion, I think Rhea Ripley has way too much momentum. Especially coming out of Worlds Collide. Successfully retaining the title against Toni Storm. I'm gonna have to go with Ripley on this one. And also too, we have Johnny Gargano versus Finn Balor, two superstars who were once known as the heart and soul of NXT. Finn Balor, Finn Balor being one of the main guys to have put NXT officially on the map. Johnny Gargano put NXT back on the map when Finn Balor left. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I can't call. These two guys are just way too good. With how much experience they have in the ring, it's hard to say honestly it's kind of hard to say who's gonna win. So, but if I had to pick, I would have to say Finn Balor. Alright, you guys, that's actually going to do it for this video. Let me know in the comments below, using the hashtag NXT TAKEOVER, use that hashtag, your predictions for this card. Because I'm curious to know. I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on this card and who you think is going to win. So comment below, hashtag NXT TAKEOVER. And if you guys enjoyed this video, smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any new content that comes your way. And be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Links to all three of my accounts will be in the description below. And if you guys have any fan mail that you want to send me, because I would love to read those letters and hear from you guys. My address will be at the top of the description below. So be sure to send in that fan mail. And on that, this is your boy Nash signing out.